coming from a person who has addiction in their family, I look at this like a disease or an addiction problem, and you don't meet that with aggression and force. You meet it with kindness and nurturing and love. So like I kept a lot of my friends throughout all that, and I see that divide, and I see that the left has weaknesses where the right has strengths. And if you play to each other's weaknesses and strengths as a way to move forward, then you can't fail.
Hi, everybody. Today, I have a special guest from the USA. Somebody we all know more by his brand as the person himself. Welcome to my show, Eric Cummins, or AKA Punk, owner of Slaughter Project. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for being here. I was looking forward to this podcast. I'm looking forward to every podcast actually that I'm doing, to be honest. And yeah, but this one was really hard, man. It was, as I said before we started, it's like so hard to find something from somebody you really never. I know you, but we don't know each other because we just talked a few times, but not in live. You know, we didn't went to a skirm or anything. So, but we're gonna change that in 2021. I think
absolutely,
definitely,
absolutely.
So, Eric, introduce yourself, man.
My name is Christopher Eric Cummins. I go by Eric, my middle name, and I'm from the Pacific Northwest here in the United States. And
you're the owner of Slaughter Projects.
Yes. I am the owner and founder, creator of the Slaughter Project.
Tell us actually to be about you, because everybody knows you well. Who I think that knows you as an artist, as a creator. Who are you as a creator? Who are you as Chris, the creator, the artist?
So me personally, I'm actually really reserved. Like in my private life, when I'm not online, like I usually keep a lot of myself away from what I'm doing. Even with PNW Punk, it was very much a this is a side of you that I choose to show you. Where, you know, I like to keep my private side private. But when it comes to art, as an artist, I look for things that haven't been done. I look for innovation, and I look for things that stand out. And I think that, you know, like as we go on down the road as to like who I associate myself with, and it speaks to where I come from as an artist. And I look for things that are new, that really catch my attention, because for the most part, everything really kind of bores me. And so like, if it catches my attention, then I want to stick with that. And so.
And where did it all start? Where did that all start?
Slaughter?
Yeah, no, just you as a creative person, as a
creative person. When I was a kid, like I just, all I wanted to do was draw. Through high school, I wanted to draw, and actually, like I was kind of set to do more more art, drawing, painting, sculpting, and things like that. But when I was in high school, I got into digital media, and specifically like cinematography and video editing, and that kind of took over my creative process. I kind of left drawing and a lot of that stuff behind, and it's only been within the last 4 or 5 years that like I have felt comfortable enough to like getting back into it, because the video editing side of things kind of felt more like a burden. Like more people wanted to use it for their own projects or whatever, and I kind of got burnt out on it. So my patches and my art have been more of a creative outlet to me, and it, you know, has provided me opportunities to travel. And that's kind of how the patch thing started, was to kind of just help me fund getting to places in the airsoft industry. So
where do you get your inspiration from?
Actually, it's funny. Eric from SYG, it was actually how he and I met. We met at a airsoft expo, and I go through like Pinterest, and my concept art is one of I love it so much. And I love seeing other people's visions of a world, you know, and I come to find out, like when I was talking with Eric the first time, and he was showing me like, yeah, these are some of the things that I've done. I pulled out my phone and I showed him. I was like, yo, I have your stuff downloaded on my phone and I didn't even know you. Like, it's crazy. So like Eric's a big inspiration to me. Justol is another big inspiration to me. These are people I look up to and have kind of helped me get to where I'm at. And how I present my like product presentation or just kind of theory that goes into how to present things in a way that people see them.
I saw one of your first car project. That was with a Honda Civic, wasn't it? It was a long time ago, and you started the first car project, and you put it as a project. And I always thought there's nothing more there on that story. So my question is, how did that car project end?
So if it's the white Honda Civic wagon that you're talking about, I wanted to do like the Honda Civic wagon, the all-terrain, like the all-wheel drive kind of off-roading camping thing. And at the time I was really financially struggling, you know, and I was doing a lot of playing catch up during the relationship that we talked about that we kind of wrote off. So now that one kind of got sold just so I could get it out of the driveway. But now I'm actually doing a off-roading camping project with a Toyota Yaris, another like small vehicle. And
you showed me last week.
Got like a whole build list and it's going to start moving along here. I mean, the next couple months.
You showed me 2 weeks ago when we were in a meeting and you said this is going to be an off-road car camping project.
Yeah.
So, and this small car. So I tried to imagine how that is going to work out. So I'm really looking forward when you finish with that one, because you do it with a couple of friends, don't you?
Yep. Some of the other friends that I've done other airsoft projects with, where they like I have a vision that I want to have done, but I don't have the tools in order to make it happen. So these guys, Mark and Mike down in Vancouver, Washington, these guys like they go by they were the Blaster Bros on Instagram, and they're brilliant builders, and they're the ones that are helping me put this thing together, and just great guys.
Promise me that you're going to show something when that thing is ready, because I really want to see that.
We're actually going to be documenting the whole thing. Like like two weeks ago when we talked, we documenting the whole thing because I want it to be a YouTube thing where you can tune in and watch this progress, because I've seen other builds online, but none of them really go in depth into how it's done. So I think it was kind of a cool. It's going to be a cool experience, especially with like off-roading and camping being more of a popular thing right now. I want to showcase that smaller vehicles can be outfitted to do just the same thing as everybody else. And I've seen some other builds, and I think the trend is kind of building. So it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, it's to be honest, your style, I like your style. I mean, that style is, you like shopping guns apart, and you make your own vision about that. And it's such a specific style, you know, it's such a specific style that I see nobody touch. But where does that come from? I mean, it's really not, well, you can, sometimes I feel it's like the Mad Max style or it's something like that, but it's explain me. I mean, explain us, because where does that come from? Why do you shop things, and what do you try to get what's in your head done on a shotgun?
I got to tell you that I ruin more guns than anything when I do that, because like I want to take 4 or 5 different guns apart and turn them into another gun that's never been seen before. It's like kind of like kit bashing. I don't know if you're familiar with that term.
No, what?
So kit, KIT, bashing, like bashing. Yeah. It's a term used when you take a lot of different pieces from various models to make a new thing that doesn't exist. And you're using extra pieces and building, something new.
Oh, yeah.
With my love of concept art and because I don't like, I mean, airsoft is, we all share it, we all love it, but like it became like this new medium of art expression where it's like, here, I'm going to build a concept gun that's never been seen before. Mm-hmm. Check it out. You guys have M4s. That's boring. I have this neat piece of garbage that doesn't really shoot, but it looks cool. But yeah, that's kind of actually like how this whole thing, I guess, kind of started was like, it started off with guns, and then to kind of fund projects, I started selling merch, and then now it's turned into the Slaughter Project, and it's been a really interesting evolution. So.
Because before that, it was your brand. Actually, was that a personal brand, your PNW Punk, or was that your personal brand? Because actually, it started there in airsoft, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So everything kind of started in PNW Punk, and where that started off was I had been playing for a while. Left a team, wanted to do my own thing. There was a guy that the punk thing started with a guy didn't really agree with me. And after the event, he kept trying to blacklist me from all these different places. And, and a teammate was like, why do you have a problem with him? And he goes, well, he's a punk, always was a punk, and always will be a punk. And he showed me the screen capture, and I was like, I like the sound of that. I'm going to take that. Thank you. And so that's how punk came to be. And, when I kind of started figuring out Instagram, and I would see these personalities in the industry and seeing how they get there with followers and sponsorships and all this stuff. And I was like, I want to see how far I can get without doing any of those things. Like, to kind of just, not to spit in the face, but just to show that you don't need all of the things that people seek in airsoft to get there. Mm-hmm. And I did. And I kind of did it on my own terms. Yeah, I was sponsored by different places, but they always approached me. And that was really gratifying, that like I didn't have to go out and search for those things.
So actually, PNW Punk is actually more personal ID. A personal ID for you to say on a rebellion way, this is my way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very much like when it comes to the apparel that I sell, the imagery that I represent, and everything moving forward, which then evolved into the Slaughter Project, was that I wanted to see something that hadn't been done before. A lot of people wanted to go with that military style, and that's just not really me. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that drew me to the Speed QB and the Speedsoft crowd was because like it was more of a place of personal expression, and then it turned into, and then competition evolved from that. So like when I saw like SYG for the first time, and all these guys, like I really connected with it because I saw a lot of my drive in them that I didn't see in the rest of the industry. And so I just kind of carved my path in that way, and being like a medium between Speedsoft and Milsim for the community.
Yeah.
So it's not, you don't need one or the other. Like you can do both and have fun. It's
100% sure. You called yourself in that time, you called yourself the devil. Was that image, or was that just a way you feel on that moment, or where did that come from?
So the devil imagery was in the firearm industry and in the airsoft industry, especially where a lot of our events are taking place, which is like in the Midwest and a lot of those places, aside from California. But there's a very big Christian base, and that's okay. Like I refuse to downgrade anybody and what they believe in. Sure. But I wanted a contrast to that. Again, I don't know if it's rebellious, outlook or whatever, but I wanted something to kind of reflect the counter, that there is a place for everyone else. And like to me, the devil was like the misunderstood, the one who said like, no, I don't really vibe with this. And then, cast away. And I like the underdogs. I like the people who don't really get that representation. And I felt like that brand kind of gave other people like, hey, no, it's cool that I don't fit in with these people. And it's cool that I don't, I wanted this to be a personal expression for myself, but also like a platform for other people who felt like that too. And like, I've made so many friends and connections in doing that, and just constantly driving them to do better for themselves as well. And like, making sure that their projects come to fruition, and encouraging and being a positive.
Well,
like it's never to be negative, but like it was always just to be like an aggressive, in your face, positive, but with like a
Yeah, I understand. How long was that ago? 7 years, 8 years, 10 years?
Yeah. I'd say about 7 or 8 years.
I mean, what is your age now in this moment?
At the time of this recording, I am 35.
So you were still very young in that way. So at the time of this recording, I was. That's cool for people who see this later. I mean, when you're looking back to that time, I mean, you look very rebellion, and I think going further, it's you like to be the rebellion. What is still is there still something from that young Eric, rebellion Eric, in you on the person who you are now?
Yeah, I would say 100%, because it's not something that, like thinking back now, I feel like I can see where that rebellious attitude carried me throughout my life, even as a young kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's like just expecting better from things. Like, I don't know what it is exactly, but I look at it now as just to never be content with what is in front of you, and that you constantly need to push yourself and push others to be better. And you know, I call that, like, it's like the chaos of progression is rebellion.
So actually politics would be a great job for you. So actually
politics?
Yeah, politics, yeah.
Oh man. And you know, I have my opinions. I for sure have my opinions, but I have thought about politics on a, you know, just maybe not right now, but like in the future, who knows, you know, but I think, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if I see that and I see that, I know some people over here, you know, they are specifically that type, and they now do politics. When they were young, they were really in that rebellion thing, and everything to do on the opposite thing that people thinking or doing, but it's just to giving that different force to say it's not always the left or right, or it's not always the right way, you know. Let's go.
I look at, and especially with 2020 in the last 4 years of the U.S. presidency, that has affected a lot of people. And I'm not going to like go in and be like, F that guy. I mean, F that guy. But like, for the sake of this conversation, you know, there was a big division that was really just furthering dividing in the United States.
Yeah.
And it was very challenging. And I did get caught up in some of the rhetoric, but I, for myself, found that it was best to like look past what people were afraid of and look past the political divide and see that, like, this person, like, last year was my friend. I don't know what they're afraid of right now, but like, I need to, like, as coming from a person who has addiction in their family, I look at this like a disease or an addiction problem, and you don't meet that with aggression and force. You meet it with kindness and nurturing and love.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I kept a lot of my friends throughout all that. And I see that divide, and I see that the left has weaknesses where the right has strengths. And if you play to each other's weaknesses and strengths as a way to move forward, then you can't fail. But, you know, that's where you come in seeing that in the middle. So
that makes everything complete. Yeah. How I see you as a person, like, where you live that way. So everything that you do is you see it in your designs, you see it in everything that you actually say no to what's normal. That's actually a little bit what and that's what I like, because a lot of people, some people ask me, okay, who is Punk? Who is Slaughter? And I said, that's something that you're self feeling, you know. It's so hard to explain who is you, who is Eric Punk. It's so hard. I mean, but I like your vision, and I understand your vision because I know where you're coming from. But it's so hard to explain. Maybe you can help me now a little bit to say, well, actually, to be honest, Eric PNW Punk is that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to kind of put me in a placeholder as to like where does he sit, because I don't know. Like, I feel like it's very omnipresent, and where it's like almost you can put me anywhere. And I guess I kind of made myself indispensable that way.
That's true. What I think is that people needs to learn the way how you think, because that's what I like. I mean, I like the way you think, and that makes happen that we come together. You know, that we came together because we share our thoughts and we share things, and on the way we not always speak the same language because I think different, but on the end, we just threw some ideas through each other, and there's already some nice things coming out of there, and that's what I think, that sometimes you don't need to understand people. You just have to see what they do, and you are an example for that.
it's a trust thing. And I never expect anyone to like or be or love or anything around me. I try to be as neutral and honest as possible, very extremely unintrusive. I can almost come and go with the wind. And, I kind of like that because I like my actions and my what I do to speak louder than me.
Yeah.
And to be remembered. So
one thing that I remember, I'm never gonna forget, is that because before we started, I said, "Man, you need to shoot me something because I need to get something where you were a few years ago, or that's something." And well, one thing is swearing is your favorite thing. The other thing is, man, you sent me a link of your YouTube channel that you had before, and yeah. I really loved so much. So my first question of that is, what was your favorite scene on Andy Pope 2?
Oh my God. So, okay, for everybody who doesn't know what MD Pope is, it's the most disturbing person on planet Earth 2. And it's a 3-hour collection of the worst things that you can find on the internet. And I mean, like, they're all real. Like, just horrible things. And now, little background, I actually used to clean up crime scenes. Yeah. And like suicide, stabbings, things like that. Like, I used to clean up all that stuff.
Oh shit.
And so like this, to me, I was very much like, I could kind of handle it. We can kind of joke with it, my friend and I, but oh my goodness, what was the,
I mean, I couldn't see any.
So yeah, no, we did. There's no way in hell I would put any of that on YouTube. Like, we would get demonetized so fast. Like, not that we were looking for monetization, but actually it was funny because the creator of that collection actually used our video as advertisement to sell more of his DVDs, which is why we have such a high viewer count. Like, it was wild.
Oh man, but your faces, you were throwing up almost. You're
oh my God. I remember at the end of that video, like, we had to take a break in the middle, but at the end of the video, I made the comment, I feel like I need to go pray. All I could think of was like, you don't know your neighbor. I promise you don't know your neighbor. You think you know your neighbor. You don't fucking know your neighbor one bit. I mean, so one of the scenes was a guy trying to take a wasp and like shove it in his urethra. Like, I went and it didn't go in the first way. So he turned the bad boy around and was like, all right, we're going in. We're trying it this way. And it didn't work. You went exactly how you thought it would. And I saw that with my eyes.
Oh my gosh.
And boy howdy.
I was laughing, man. I was so happy you sent that to me. I mean, that gives you an idea. But that was your YouTube time. I mean, that was Chris and Brent.
And Brent, that's my my best friend, one of my brothers. I call him my heterosexual life partner.
Okay, man. But you stop with it, and but I really think maybe you have to do a new one soon. But
oh man. We've been talking about it. And that's actually kind of how it crossed with Slaughter, was like, I wanted something to kind of reflect that horror genre, the horror movie genre that we both really love and admire. And nothing like that was out. But with Brent, we went to these horror movie conventions and we would make friends with some of the directors and the actors, and they like knew us and they did, intros for our show together. And we kind of like didn't really know what to do with it. And so we didn't really go further with it. But it was a lot of, I remember having a lot of fun doing it.
Oh man.
And that might be something to do in the future.
And there was another idiot project, to be honest. And it was Corey versus Airsoft. I mean,
yeah. So Corey versus Airsoft.
That guy. I hear you.
Go ahead.
That guy, he had so much pain, and you were laughing as a sneaky bastard. It's like, okay, I don't feel that, but.
So this was when I was actually working at my very first sponsored place, and somebody like who goes back into my airsoft career. His name is Jeremy Dutton. He's a streamer now. He does his own thing. Big ups to him. But like, he was the original guy that did my guns, and he was the original guy that kind of got me into customizing. But with Corey versus Airsoft, Corey was one of my coworkers, and he was just like Jeremy's. He was like the butt of every one of his jokes because he was just, I don't know, man. He just kind of didn't really get it all together, and so we would test fire. So yeah, Corey versus Airsoft is essentially us test firing the airsoft guns from the shop on his back.
Oh.
Like we would just from like 50 to 80 feet away, we just shoot him in the back. And one of them, we shot him with an APS bolt action that uses the shell ejection.
Mm-hmm.
We put something in his back that should not have been lodged. I mean, it was super like, oh man, I felt so bad. It just buried in his skin and it was not great.
Oh my gosh. And there was one grenade or something you shot at him but he was not really prepared where I think he's got a hit with 100 BBs and once it was on the street. That was
yeah. So that was the very first one. It was like the Project Flamethrower, and it was basically just an empty CO2 canister with high pressure air going into it, and it was filled with BBs. So when the air pressure, like the hose from the lid would create a vacuum to the air pressure that was coming in from the air tank and would cause the BBs to just explode out of the barrel like just a flamethrower. And we didn't know what the FPS was. We didn't know how fast it was shooting. He just opened fired on his back, poor bastard, and fucking
oh my god,
just put him on his knees. And it was how Corey versus Airsoft started.
He needs to love pain. He needs to love pain because I felt the pain that he had on that moment. Trust me, when I saw that, I was oof. That was but I'm happy that it stopped because I think you can't do it in this time anymore. But
no, God no.
It's but there was some funny projects in there, some funny things in there that I saw.
Yeah.
Next, what I couldn't find was that actually Sport and Eric Cummins. That I couldn't find much. But what sport did you do when you still active or not active in sports? What sports did you do when you were younger?
When I was a young kid, I played baseball for like 4 years. And then after that, I don't know. I don't know why I kind of dropped out of it. And I think it had a lot, maybe I went from baseball and then I actually raced Hawaiian outrigger canoes for a number of years as a young kid. And I did that because my grandpa did it, and I kind of dropped out because it was kind of getting to that age where like I needed friends and I needed that kind of stuff, and I really wasn't finding it. And then I went to church and I did all this stuff, and that actually kind of helped put me into that rebellious phase. But yeah, it was mostly just baseball, and then the Hawaiian racing, and then that's when I kind of got more into the art and video editing and stuff like that. So my priorities just shifted.
You still have a dream that editing or to do something with movie? Are you still want to do something with that in the upcoming year?
I would like to, but I would like to do it more now that I have more confidence in myself. I would like to do more acting, and I would like to do maybe more directing kind of stuff, and not more of the technical stuff, and like trusting that to somebody else. And like more putting my vision or like acting to help somebody else. You know, I've got one of the guys from the ASAP podcast is doing some short films, Corey Haynes, and I'm like going to the gym and working out so I can get in shape for that role, and you know, just try and take that stuff seriously. So
yeah, you already said it a few times in this podcast, is that, well, now you have more trust in yourself and getting older and that kind of things. What was your toughest time in life? What on this young age? What was your toughest time?
Well, it's actually, I mean, yeah, it's going to get dark. Just forewarning everybody. It's a dark topic, and it's when my mom passed, and it was 2015. And sorry, that was, well, go ahead.
I said sorry, but
oh no,
okay.
She was like, so she had a long battle with depression and addiction and whatnot, and she had a lot of back issues, and she just kind of medicated, self-medicated. And one day I came and I found her dead. And like, that was a huge eye opener for me. Cause like my mom and my dad, like really didn't raise me all that much. And like my dad is kind of out of the picture, and my mom is now in front of me. Like the only person that like I thought was there for me, like it's gone. And like I felt super alone. And it was like a growing up moment for me that like it was life shattering. And like getting through that and coming out and having a better outlook, a brighter outlook, and not blaming anybody for it, and you know, taking the blows as they come. Like that was hands down like the
respect for that. And I'm sorry, I didn't know that, but it was a question that I just wanted to ask. But I understand that was your toughest time in life till you have now. I hope you're over it. And
it's, I have a healthy relationship with it now, because I went to counseling. I did all the right steps to make sure that like it didn't manifest into anything weird, because that's easy to do. And that was probably the hardest one.
Yeah.
Everything else just seems kind of easy in comparison. Like little problems, like you can handle it. You can handle it. There's people going through worse. Just you can do it. It's fine.
Yeah, but that's true. Sometimes you need things like this, and how hard it sounds, but sometimes you need it. Some people needs this to go on in their life, but it can go wrong or it can go good. And so, luckily for you, you took the positive thing of that. You already named it before. 15th of May 2019, there it was, the first ASAP podcast, airsoft, another series airsoft podcast. Yep. And you were there, you were on there, and you are a big part of that. I love to listen to you guys, and I always check in when you are there. Tell us about that, because it's a bunch of friends who started it. That's what I know.
Yeah. So, another Serious Airsoft podcast is a program that I do with a couple other gentlemen from around the country. Cole, Carl, Corey. They're Colorado, Texas, Oklahoma. We had a fifth person. They dropped out, which is, wish them the best of luck for everything. But yeah, no, it's wild, because like we don't have a lot of numbers. Before the pandemic, we were charted to really take off. Pandemic happened. There's not really a whole lot to talk about in airsoft, unfortunately. But it's kind of cool, because we kind of came in at a time when there was like one or two we jump on. And then at the same time we jump on, there's a lot of other people who are wanting to do airsoft podcasts. And I don't know what it is, but we don't have the highest number or the highest follower count. There are other ones who are more successful. However, I find that most of the people in the industry come to us first. And whether it be sponsors or guests that we have on, we usually get approached to like do new releases, whatever it might be. Like they kind of come to us first. And I think that speaks to the type of personalities that we have on, and try to be very grounding and real when it comes to talking about airsoft, and not glorifying it as this big grand thing that we have to protect and love and nerd. You know what I mean? Like it's a hobby. We love it. It's a sport. Yeah. You do with that as you will. And I've got to say big ups to you, because I've been listening to all these episodes, and like your drive to make airsoft a sport. So like that's huge and admirable. I don't want to take away from that when I'm saying like,
thank you,
grounding airsoft. You know what I mean? But for like just the common listener, just be like, hey, like this is all for fun.
Yeah, but it is fun, and it is really fun to listen. I mean, it's just a few friends.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
A few friends sitting down, drinking beer. Always drinking beer and talk about the funny things in airsoft. I mean, the cool thing about it is that there are really milsim people. You as a person, you actually liked. You can afford yourself as a milsimmer because you came in there as a milsimmer. I think that's or skirmish.
I do more skirmish. I started going to milsim events because that was all that was available at the time, and the idea of getting to travel and play was just, I didn't care what the event was. Like, I'll sign me up, I'll go. Like, that's fun. And So like that's kind of how it started, and now it's been more indoor focused, and I'm excited to explore that more once the pandemic ends.
Well, you're a big Copperhead fan, don't you? I mean,
Copperhead it's the closest one, like the closest big AMS event to me. So it's kind of like the one that everybody goes to, and you get to see all your friends, and it's like a big convention almost. And so like that's the one that all of us at ASAP kind of met at, was at Copperhead.
I listened to one of the podcasts, and on that moment, I think it was in podcast one, because I listened them all, and one of that you said, because you were PNW punk, and between all these guys, you're typically your own style person walking around there, sometimes in something completely different. I mean, bring me with you in that moment. I mean, what brings you to do that? Is that rebellion again, or is that just because there was one story that you said it was not allowed to wear black clothes?
Yeah.
And you said
I just didn't care. Like I know why they do it. I know why they need it, and I know why, like, you know, for admin purposes, you need to be able to quickly identify people as their side, and like certain colors are designated for certain factions. But I wanted to go play with my friends, and I have my vest and I have my look. And I was like, I'm not compromising it. I don't care. Like if they're going to kick me out, what are they going to, I came all this way and they're going to kick me out. Like, I don't, whatever, fuck you. Like, I'm just going to like, or we're going to dock me points. Oh, fucking well. Like I look cool as shit. Fuck you. I'm fucking going.
But that's your own style. Imagine, what are you wearing then?
I was wearing a pair of just like black or like green LBX pants, a t-shirt, like a Enola Gay t-shirt, and I have this this vest that I made. I have all my patches on it and all my stuff, and it's part of my I wouldn't call it maybe it's a shtick, I don't know. But it was just, that's how I wanted to look that day, and I wanted to just kind of give it some flair, to kind of set it apart from all of the other military guys that were taking it really seriously. I'm like, nope, this is a joke. We're all having fun. Like, just stop, get some help. So, and I mean, I haven't heard too many gripes about it. I've seen some of them tighten down the rules a little tighter after that, but you know,
that shirt that you have, you always, I mean, you just did like this. I mean, I love that shirt. Is that something you did yourself too?
This one?
Yeah. That sweater.
No, so this sweatshirt is actually a Kaiju 017. Let me lift it up a little bit so you guys can see this.
Oof.
This is the first release of his that I got to participate in, and he's the same guy that did the collaboration with KWA.
Okay, yeah.
With the Kaiju 47, like that's the same guy.
Oh, cool. That's a cool shirt. I really mean that. But what if there was an event where you were responsible for the clothing, and there were only 20 people and they need to play a kind of game? How would you style that game? How would you style that game?
So what I would do, I actually have an idea for this, is that a lot of airsofters they like to have big, huge amounts of players. Like, oh, we had 200, 300, 400 people at our event. Ooh, check out our AO. It's fucking massive. That's all well and cool, but like there's a lot of challenges that come with that kind of stuff. What I would do is I would like rent out 3 floors of a building, you know, like some place that has vacancy, you know, you set it up, you kind of board up the windows, however you got to do it. But like, make it a 50 on 50, 24-hour survival game. Limited ammo. It's hard to, like, it's, you know, the objectives are not necessarily A versus B. It's like you can create alliances and you create the outcome as you go. It's just that you all have to work together or fight for resources or something like that in a confined space for the duration of 24 hours. And the goal is to survive, you know, like that to me sounds like a lot of fun. Plus it opens it up to where you can have it, and possibly within city limits, or, you know, it creates a more viable environment, especially as land and outdoor facilities become more scarce. So
yeah, that's cool. That will be a cool, who knows, maybe once.
Yeah.
It's again, you are in the milsim world and in the skirmish world, you are a known person, but you are one of the first who wear the mask, and you are one of the first who actually bring speed tag. Speed tag. I'm sorry, that was speed QB, speed soft, more closer to them, because when you talk in the podcast in the ASAP, many times speed soft comes there and it's an open discussion. That's cool, and I think you are one of those bridges to bring them those two worlds closer together.
Yeah, and I really try to be as inclusive as possible when talking about where Speed QB belongs in airsoft. Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, I noticed that the speed softers are more accepting of milsimmers than milsimmers are of Speed QB. And even with Speed QB creating gear that's more designed for longer event-based games, like they're making gear for you guys, and you guys are still just trashing. It's so ridiculous because we're all doing the same thing. We're all doing it because we like to shoot at other human beings. Yeah. Like that's why we're here. So I like to be that bridge, and it's created a lot of opportunities to be inclusive in that way. So
to be honest, I did that. I stopped being that bridge, but that was maybe just the bridge. On the moment when I stopped trying to be that bridge, when I said, okay, then I'm going to separate it. I'm going to build an arena for the speed softers, and next to that, the other people. On that moment, they start to getting interest in each other. It's really strange, but on that moment, it's
you let go, and then it just kind of takes care of itself.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right. We all play the same game. We all shoot, and we want to shoot people, and we want to make a cool event of that. So so
like the fact that parents will bring their children, sign waivers that say you can shoot my child. What better thing can you ask for?
Yeah, that's true.
And how are you going to create a divide over like getting to shoot somebody else's kids? Like I can't find there's no other thing.
I never saw it that way, by the way. It's true. It's true. Oh man. So I'm happy that I still had some questions, So
yeah.
Next to that, now I have to ask you a question that somebody else asked in a podcast, because he said he could ask a question, and the question was from Rooster. And
I remember this.
What made you want to start Slaughter? So Rooster, this is from you to Eric. Here he is.
Hey, shout out to Rooster, man. That guy's one of the most unique people in airsoft, period. Yes. And like, I love his style. I like that dude is a homie. So, what made me want to start Slaughter was, I just wanted some imagery that reflected that horror genre, that grungy, grindhouse style. And Slaughter is actually the county that I live in, Kitsap County, used to be called Slaughter County for like, I think a span of 4 years or something like that. And so Slaughter in this area kind of has, like, in some circles, a little bit of a keepsake. And so being somebody who's very proud of the Northwest and representing the Northwest in the airsoft community, I wanted to take that with me. And Slaughter just kind of came this thing, and it's evolved and it's grown over time. And now I actually have like a lot of people, it means something different. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and it clicked as to what Slaughter is, and like what it is, and where the mindset comes from. And it's like when you're in your peak and like everything else is gone, you're just so focused on that moment. Like Speak You Be Junkie, how he talks about winning. And how, like being so hyper focused on what it is. And when you achieve it and you have that, it's like this little split second. It only lasts like a fraction of a second. It's like your peak euphoria. And it's like right before you scream in celebration. It's like you get that. And then like, it's that moment right before you scream. You slaughtered it. You killed it. And it's that moment right before the levee breaks where you just let it all out. And like that's where Slaughter lives, is right there.
That because Slaughter is actually not a brand. It's because it's like a brand. You want to fit a brand, but Slaughter is not the brand. It's just your personality that you want to show, that you're a part of. That's your Slaughter. We had a discussion, and that's what I like.
Yeah. it can mean so many things to so many different people, and slaughter is just that mindset, and it's that trigger that you allows you to move past whatever's in front of you and just to break that wall. So, and yeah. And so yeah, what made me start it was I just wanted a patch, and that, you know, I could sell it on my own terms and like keep the quantity low and just sell it to whoever I want. Whoever gets it, and whoever doesn't. Sorry, sucks to be you. You know what I mean? Like, and then it just grew. The more I sold them, the more it grew, the more bigger it got. And now, man, we're global. It's insane. So the fact that we're having this conversation about it is crazy to me. So
it's well, we had a conversation a few weeks ago. It's like, what is the person? How does another person see the person on the field with a slaughter patch?
Like, that's somebody you share something with. Like, you see that slaughter, and like in a world of division where like it's me versus them, or it's their views versus mine, you see somebody with that patch and they get it. Like, there's something about them that you can find something in common with. And like, now more than ever, people need that. You know, people feel isolated, especially in quarantine. Like, people feel isolated. That's something you can share. You know?
It's so what are your goals with slaughter in the next coming 3, 4, 5 years? And what does people have to know before they're going to wear it, Eric?
So that's a good question. So in the next couple of years, I want to have, you know, I want to have everything on my, obviously, like, get myself where to get to facilitate that kind of growth, to do it right. So that way we're not taking steps backwards. But I want it to be a brand that people can either, you know, so like it's born here in airsoft, but like I want it to grow. I want it to be a lifestyle brand and have its roots in airsoft always, but like to see it in other genres like boxing or, you know, drift sports or paintball, you know, to see it just at least bridge a couple other styles of self-expression and what we do recreationally. And what I want people to know when they wear the brand is that I want it to be very self-correcting. You know, if you see somebody who's acting out, who's somebody who is not representing themselves to the best of their ability, like, you need to give that person, like, set them aside and be like, hey, yo, like, let's be better people. You know, like, this is something that we can represent. This is something that, you know, when you wear it, it's to give yourself the mindset of being the best person you can be, and always keeping that and moving forward.
Well, the idea that you just said, the idea that slaughter is going to go to more, you would like that it's going to more sports and that kind of thing. I really see the slaughter board. I mean, you know, the skateboards, that would fit perfect in there. You know, it's but it's not a brand. It's a identification thing, I think, more. And how do you identify yourself with? And I think slaughter is a good thing with that. You know, it's, if you don't understand, leave it. If you understand it, you wear it. And then that's the group who understands why you wear that thing. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna, and that's why I'm looking forward to our collaboration that we're gonna do. I mean, we're gonna do an idiot, crazy, cool collaboration with Slaughter, KWA, and Among Customs, and we are brainstorming already a few things. But I'm really looking so forward to those crazy ideas that we both have, but especially that signature, that Slaughter signature. I like that because that's where I want to be one. You know, that's why I love it to make something together. And I think now with the first project that we're going to do with KWA, everything that you just said, I think we're going to tell that in that project that we're going to launch. So.
And yeah, for everyone listening too, like, this is something that we like has been transpired over the course of a year. You know, we've been talking about doing a collaboration project, but we really, the timing and just making sure that everything kind of fit and right, and it wasn't forced. So that's kind of, I'm grateful that we gave it the time that it did, but it's definitely a product of aggressive change. Like, it's very unique in its design, and it's you know, hopefully it will be received very well. So
And if not, we're going to keep it ourselves.
Yeah, right. If anything, like we'll just have them. Screw you guys. They're cool as shit.
Then we're just gonna walk there, and if they say you cannot wear or you cannot shoot with, and we're gonna go on that field, and we're just gonna do and shoot and wear the fuck that we want. So it's no, but with that idea, Eric, it's I'm really in there, and I really this is I'm happy we just ended the project, and we launched it yesterday. But I'm so happy that we now can focus on this project too, because this will have our attention in the next coming weeks, and yeah, I really started to understand the slaughter project. I understand that, and that's why I said, man, that's more closer to the ideas we have as a group than he. So, but you need to understand that. So I think that's going to be a great marriage. You know, it's a monk with the devil or something like that. It's talking about that. We're gonna make a great product, and I really looking forward to work with you. You know, I'm looking forward. How is that road? You know, we're gonna make a trip now in the next coming weeks. We're gonna make a trip, and I'm really looking forward to that trip.
Yeah,
and
you know, and the fact that like I you know, this project and even like with it as vague as it's been for everybody and its description and it's just kind of here and people are following it, and there's, you know, and now I'm getting to talk to you, who I look up to as like one of the next innovators of the sport, and getting to be a part of that at the same time. Like it really feels like we're all on this journey forward to something even bigger, and being a team with you guys, SpeedQB, KWA, and just moving this thing forward really does feel like it just, I don't know, it just fits. It's hard to put into words.
It's and I'm really again looking forward to that, and I think that in 6 months we can show the people how we think when we think.
Yeah.
So my last question, Eric, because time flies. I mean, we're lucky we already have 1 hour there, and but man, as I said, there is going to be another episode, but that's going to be an episode when I learn you in person. You know, when I see you in person, when we had a few drinks and we had some events and we had some more history behind us. Then we're going to do another one, because we have something coming.
No, so I want you to know, like, it's like as soon as this episode's over, I'm applying for my passport. So
that's cool. Don't forget that.
Because getting my passport ready. I'm all vaccinated. I'm all ready to go. So, like,
oh man, you're so lucky there, man. I mean, I know
I got lucky because of my job.
Not only you, but I mean, Sosa, 26 years. They all already had their shots. So here, my mom, 75, had her shots last week. So
wow,
yeah. So it's crazy. So
well, I'm glad she got her shot.
Yeah,
that's really.
Me too.
Awesome.
I was for me, it was scary. So she had her first shot, and I really hope because I stayed away from her, and I really missed her, and I mean, but here when I think in a month my time is there. I hope to get a shot, but I'm looking so forward to it, and I don't care what the rest is saying. Oh, fuck them all, because I want to fly. I want to come over. I want to do things. You know, I hate that. I mean, I want to give a few years of my life, not a few, but a year of my life to get a vaccine if it's necessary. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like now, this was one of the worst years there are. So, no, I'm looking forward to that too, that we're going to see each other, and we're going to do more than just building, and we need that drink. I mean, we need that socialized drink, and
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Last question, my friend. So, can you live with the idea that there is another devil in the scene, or a new devil in the scene?
Yeah. Are you talking about Gunny?
I'm talking about a friend, Gunny. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gunny is a good friend of mine, and actually, like, I designed his new logo. Uh-huh. He's one of my endorsed guys, and at first when he was like, you know, I'm the snake devil, I'm the devil, I was like, you're like, okay, like it's kind of like, you have to be of a certain, I don't know, you have to have a certain charisma to be able to kind of pull it off. And I think he's a growing kid. I call him a kid because he's younger than I am, but like he's a growing guy. He's a great guy. And when he said that, and he gave me the OG Devil title, like, you know, it's cool to be acknowledged, but like, you know, I'm totally cool with it. Like he looks up to me, and you know, I'm humbled by that. So
that's cool.
I 100% could be cool with that.
And that's what I like, and that's what a lot of people don't know about you too, is that for you, the brand Slaughter and everything, it's not about the money. I mean, what I heard, I mean, you want to keep it small, but there are friends you just give it for free. You designed it for them because you want to help them with their identification, with their ID, and with how they look, and you only work with the companies in your neighborhood, and you want to keep it as local as you can. You know, that's what I think is cool.
I came from an area in airsoft when, like, my presence kind of threw a lot of companies off. My presence really threw a lot of players off. And those ones that were cool enough to see me for who I was and vibe with me and kind of share my vision, we've just kind of elevated and grown together. And and that goes for the people that I give things to, because like we've grown together. Our brands have grown, along the same lines, and those who have helped me with advice along the way, and those who I look to, and you know what I mean, like anybody who I have kind of touched, and we've like, that's kind of like my way of saying like, hey, I'm doing this exclusive thing. I love you. Here are some patches that you can like use. It was never for exposure. It was just kind of like a sign of respect. Like, hey, this is my brand. This is what I'm doing. This is what I have to offer here. Like, I hope you the best of success. And now, so like if I give somebody, a color palette, like that's it. I'm not selling that color to anybody else. That's just yours. And so what Rooster said, like who I choose my clientele with is, like it's just anybody who I have mutual respect with, and if I feel like the voice says, hey, you need to give them patches, I'll give you patches. So
cool. And that's why and that's why I told you 2 weeks ago, and that's what I want to do, like with Punk Customs, that we want to represent the brand Slaughter in Europe, and we need to bring the brand over to Europe because it's more than a brand, and I like that, and so and I hope we're gonna arrange that for this year, or maybe in the short future, to bring it over here, and that more people over here can enjoy what you make, because I want my name on the walls too. Like, that'd be really cool, just like a sign of achievement. You're gonna get that. Yeah. You're gonna get that. Don't worry. So, as you know, on the end, that was my last question. Thank you for answering all my questions. There is and so before I'm gonna shoot some questions, the last one where you have to choose which one, you have the opportunity to ask me a question. So if you have some questions, this is the time. So I got to say that a lot of my initial questions were answered by some of your other guests, but then the one thing that I did notice is that you love American football. Yeah. You love American trucks. Yeah. You like Las Vegas. There's like a certain thing about America that, like, I don't know. I feel like it kind of, it connects with you. And what is it about that, like, Americana culture that you're just like, that you kind of like, you kind of like? What is it, like, that little spark? If I could move, why I'm still here is my kids and my wife's parents, Melissa's parents. But we all love the land of opportunity, the land of, I think what it is that my brain, my way of thinking is in the years that I'm living here, it's too small or too big for here, because I like to think the nice thing about the American people is they don't worry, or they are not afraid to think big. They're not afraid of selling their ideas. They are not afraid of that, and they never questioning it. They never questioning if that's a stupid idea, or that's that. It's like, when you say things like here, it's a very conservative country. Europe is very conservative if you put it next to the US. And in my long 30 years as a businessman, I had many ideas, but I like the big ideas, and I want to search for that. But the way of it's how it's working over here, you need to have 20,000 insurances when you want to do an idea. You need 25,000 banks to get an idea launched over here. And what you have in America is the greatest and the craziest things. And that's why I like Las Vegas too. It's impossible, but there is everything possible, you know. And yeah, it's kitsch. It's all, but it's the land where I think that you can dream, you can have a dream, and some people respect your dream. And over here, you always have to defend it, and that's why I love the American way. And yes, if I could move tomorrow, I would be your neighbor, Eric. I would be your neighbor. It's
that'd be awesome.
It's this country. I think not only country, because Europe is not as the States. You know, Europe is every country is its own country, and I think this country, this Europe, is too small for my thoughts, and that's why I love being around with people like you, and being around with people like Sapo, and being around with people like Tom. You know, dare to think different, dare to be rebellion, and dare to make a weapon pink, and dare to make things, and dare to search for people who are thinking different. I mean, it's maybe a niche market, but I don't care. I like to think that you can make from a simple idea, you can make a great idea, and I think we're working on that. So, but as soon as my kids are allowing us or coming with us, we are there. And I'm think when I'm 60, I'm still young enough in the US, in America, to make great things. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So I love America, and everybody knows that around me. So
I have we'll talk about it afterwards, but I have an idea for Vegas, and I think you'll like it.
Okay, that's cool.
I have an idea.
That's cool. So that was your question?
Yep, that was my question.
Cool. There are the last questions, and after those questions, we have to make the fuck up from where we started. We have to make that good, but I'm saying it live now. So here are the questions. Are you ready for it?
I am.
There we go. Delta Fox or Copperhead?
What was the first one?
Delta Fox? The Delta Fox events?
The Desert Fox
events?
Desert
Fox. Desert Fox. Sorry. Again, Desert Fox events or Copperhead?
Or Copper. I would say Desert Fox events.
Okay, football or ice hockey?
I would go. Before I would say football, but we just got a hockey team. Seattle did, and I'm hockey. I'll go hockey.
Hockey. Devil or Lucifer?
The Devil or Lucifer?
Maybe the name.
I'm gonna go with Devil.
Milsim or Speaky B?
Speaky B.
Boots or sneakers?
Boots.
Black and white or color?
Black and white.
Metal or plastic?
Metal.
Honda or Dodge?
Say that one more time.
Honda or Dodge?
Oh, Honda or Dodge. I'll say Dodge because their diesel engines are the same as my last name. Cummins diesel.
That's true. Dog or cats?
Dogs.
Beer or whiskey?
Whiskey.
Sausages or steak?
Steak.
Helmet or mask?
Mask.
HPA or AEG?
HPA.
Multicam or olive drab?
Olive drab.
Search of Scientology or heaven?
The Search of Scientology or heaven? I'm going to go with heaven.
Green or red?
Green.
Olives or nuts?
Nuts.
Cars or motors?
Cars.
BMW Punk or Slaughter?
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Slaughter.
Father or son?
Son.
Sapo or rooster?
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go with Rooster just because of style alone. Like I like his red glasses. I like his pink balaclava. Eric, nothing against Eric. Eric's like a teacher, but like Russo when it comes to just overall aesthetic.
Wheat or airsoft?
Wait, so one more time.
Wheat or airsoft? Pot or airsoft?
Oh, pot.
Hard or soft?
Hard, soft.
Sex or design?
Sex is easy. Design is hard. I'll go design.
Cool or hot?
Cool.
A nerd or a marine?
Nerd.
Local or worldwide?
So that's okay. Here's the duality in that one. I'm going to pick one because I know that's the rules. But the duality in that is that, you know, I'm very local based, local businesses. I'd like to support local. But now that we're going worldwide, and that's kind of like my life now. So like we're going to go worldwide.
Eric, thank you for being my guest, and thank you for being on, man. And this was the last question, and really, I really enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to what we're going to do in the next coming months.
I likewise. This has been a big privilege, so I appreciate you having me on.
More than welcome. And I really hope, and I promise this one, we're going to make an episode 2, and we do this after the project that we did with KWA Slaughter and Among Customs. Eric,
I feel like the community is going to be a different place when we get together. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's it. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy your Saturday and Sunday, and all my greetings to everybody you know that I know over there, and speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks. Peace.
Peace.